Hello, man. This is Chris with the Age of Reason here, and tonight I just want to take a couple minutes here, a couple moments to talk to you guys about the importance of family. A lot of us, we do say things like family first, and we really do love our families, but this is kind of for dads. Men, dads, I'm talking to you here. Um, you know, this system of life in this country is so destructive and so fucked up. And what we have to do as fathers to our children is give them the best shot that we can after we're gone, because we're not going to live forever. And it's our responsibility to ensure that our children are well equipped and well aware of how to survive and hopefully thrive and succeed in this world after we're gone. Of course, it's here or there whether or not things get any worse after our time. They probably will, and that's more reason why we have to ensure that we put as much knowledge and learning. We have to teach our children as much as possible. One thing that my father always said to me was, no matter what happened, he just wanted to make sure that us kids were able to take care of ourselves when he was gone. And he had a lot of flaws, man. Dad had a lot of imperfections. And men, we are not immune from that. We are not immune from that, none of us. No matter how fucked up dad was, for all of us, um, it doesn't have to be that way for us, and it doesn't have to be that way for our children, for the future of our blood. Our children are our blood. You know. So what I'm trying to express with you guys, there's a whole bunch of things that I want to get into, and I'm actually going to start a segment and call it Daddy's Den on here, um, where we fathers can get together. You guys can leave me feedback, or even emails, and we can have discussions this way. I will go ahead and make some videos about information for dads, and you guys can communicate with me about them, because as the world becomes more networked online, we are at the same time disconnecting ourselves from personal networks in day to day, everyday life. And therefore, it's very important for fathers to find a way to communicate with other fathers about the myriad of subjects of life. Um, Again, none of us are immune to bad times and bad habits, but that doesn't mean that it has to stay that way forever by any means. And we should, for the pride that we have in our children, we should instill a higher sense of self worth for them, which will then lead them to also have a higher sense of self worth and hopefully avoid the pitfalls which we have maybe fallen into in life before them. Because that's really the name of the game out here, in day to day life, is just survival. Um, if the shit hits the fan, we have to know how to survive. And that doesn't mean that our children will only have to learn strictly about survival techniques, but of course, that's very important. Now, what I do for my children, um, I make my own videos at home for my daughter. And these are personal videos on how I can teach her here at home. The goal for me and my family, which I am raising, is to never have to put my daughter into any form of public indoctrination, public education. I think that's the worst thing that we can be doing with our children is throwing them to the government to fill their brains with all this shit that we know they put in. And it gets even worse when we start reading our Facebook walls and all that about how they're teaching this faggotry agenda and everything else in schools to little ones. And, these sickening fucking concepts that these bastards are trying to push into their heads. So if we decide that we just don't have the time or the resources, or maybe we don't even know how to teach our children at home, so we might as well throw them to the wolves of the government. We have to get that out of our individual and collective minds, men. We know, you and me and you, we know who I'm talking to, you the viewer, and I know that the public education system is just a train wreck. We already know that. And so we have to find ways to teach our little ones at home. Now, with little ones, especially toddlers and things like that, of course, they gobble up all of our free time. And of course, there's no better way to spend our free time, we know. But when we put them down for their naps and things like that, that's when we find our time to do things for ourselves, projects that we have worked on, that we have to work on. Maybe you got to repair the car, or maybe you want to install some shelves in the house. You men know what I'm talking about. When you put your little ones down, that's when you find your time. And naps are great for our babies. They're absolutely great. But we don't need to put them down in front of the bullshit, the TV shows and the pop culture music and things like that. So what I do is I make my own videos for my daughter. I make my own flashcards. I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought a pack of markers and a pack of note cards. And I made the alphabet and numbers and all kinds of great things. And I make my own videos for her where I show her the flashcards and I talk about the letters. I enunciate them. And the same with the numbers and the foods and everything else. This is a great way for us to start teaching our little ones, while they're doing nothing except getting ready for their nap. We don't have to put them down in front of the Disney movies. And God forbid if you put your children down in front of the Nickelodeon programming, with all the homosexual shit that they put on there and all the death to parents shit on there. I don't know how many times throughout Nickelodeon programming we have shows where, of course, the children are more educated than dumb old mom and dad, and dad's a fucking idiot, and mom, it's fucking horse shit. So we don't have to rely on those things. And not everybody thinks about stuff like this. But let's go here for a minute. Okay, most of us, I'm not saying everybody, but most of us has an Android or iPhone, some kind of mobile device with at least one built-in video camera. It's how I'm recording this right now. We can use this mobile device to record our own programming for our little ones. And then what do we do after that? Well, we can, some of you men have money and you have access to media servers in your home. In that case, you can set up a media server computer in your little one's room and have it stream through the house that way. Or not all of us have luxuries like that. We can record them to anything really. You could find a way to record it to VHS, or it might be a little extreme because who still has a VHS camcorder? Anyhow, avoid that idea unless you know how to make it work. What I do, you can burn these to DVD. You can burn these to blank DVD, and you can put them in your children's DVD player, and there you go. They can start watching that way. Incidentally, if you happen to have a modern HD television in the room of your little one, you can plug your mobile device right into it. I don't have a modern HD TV in my little one's room. She doesn't need that at all. I have an old CRT, and it has a built-in VHS player. Of course, that no longer works. Whatever. But here's a suggestion for men who have dinosaur age equipment, what we like to say dinosaur or legacy age equipment. If you have an old Xbox, the original Xbox, modify that. Modify that with the software modification. And what you can then do is once you have that soft modded, as they say, you can copy over all the media that you want to it, and you can play the media that way. Another idea is that you can, because the videos are great, because when you do these things, you will be showing your children the letters with the flash card, and you will be expressing how they sound so that you can teach your children how to do this. And that's not to say that you don't do that when you're spending your time with them either. We do that anyhow. But this really helps too because the little one's mind is always open. And anytime that your son or daughter can see you personally, be it in person or on a screen, they have an instant connection with you. So always keep that in mind. These are the things that our children are going to remember. I have memories when I was a toddler of sitting in an A&P grocery cart while my mother was pushing the grocery cart around. These are important memories for us. This is why family is so important. And if we say family first, well, men, we should really mean that, and we should go out of our way to ensure that we're doing everything that we can to teach and better the life of our family. But back to these ideas, you can also record your own music. You could sing the alphabet. You could sing the alphabet and burn it to a CD, and you can play that in your little one's room while they go to sleep for their nap. Read them a story. Let's think about the old audio books on tape that we all used to check out at the library. I know I did. I used to love them. And my mother actually started making those for us kids herself. And she used a bell when it was time to turn the page. And one time I remember specifically these awesome memories that we have of our folks. She used a glass of water and a spoon, and she clanked that around, and that let me know as a little boy it was time to turn the page. And of course, this was recorded on the old tape decks that every family seemed to have had. Those awesome old tape recorders, man. And that's another thing too. The use of old technology is great, especially when dealing with our little ones, because it stands up over time. Number one, that old equipment that you see at the old thrift stores that you probably bypass every time you look at it. This stuff works great for kids, man. And Okay, so it stands the test of time, and it's high quality equipment. You can get it cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money to teach your children, and doing these kinds of things, it creates a bond with your children. Like I say, I have these memories of my mother reading books to me. You know, when she wasn't there, I would sit. Well, she was there, but what I'm saying is, when I was playing in my bedroom as a little boy, I would get the tape deck and put these tapes in, and grab the book and listen to my mama read these books to me. You know, and these have profound impacts on the human brain, on our mind, on our souls. These are things that we take with us. So just try to think about all the great things that hopefully your parents did with you. And even if they didn't, because not everybody had real loving parents, even if they didn't, we don't have to be that way, man. And I have a whole bunch of information. I've been through the bottle and shit like that, like everybody else. And I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you men, you fathers, about this stuff, because again, this is important stuff. Our children are gonna go on after we're dead and gone, and so we want to ensure that we impact them with the best memories and the best knowledge, so that they know how to love themselves, and in turn love other people, and have good relationships with people. And we want them to be able to carry on a proud, strong legacy, for us. This is our blood that we're talking about, guys, right? Um, I don't know if I'll post up any of my videos that I make for my daughter. I might, I might. It might be a good idea to give you men an idea of what I do. You know. Again, this is just these videos and these CDs and stuff that I make for my little one. Um, this is what I put on when she's in her room. It's playtime or nap time and things like that. Anytime Daddy needs a break, to get some stuff done around the house or whatnot. Um, these again, these are very important things, and family is very important to me. My family is very important to me, and your family is very important to me as well. And you guys, some guys might think, "What, are you fucking crazy? Why do you care about other people's families?" Well, because my children will wind up growing with your children, and therefore it's important that you know we raise people who are going to be capable of knowing how to deal with each other, and being smart and knowing how to avoid these traps in life, and stay out of fucking jail, and stay out of the fucking bar room, and stay out of all the bullshit. Don't run with the fucking niggers and the wiggers and the fucking whatever the fuck pejorative we use to describe just the worst kind of people out there that can destroy our children. You know. Anyway, guys, that's all for this here. I just wanted to put that out there. I just got done burning a Lullabies CD for my daughter. It's just this too. You guys can look up lullabies and stuff like that on YouTube, and look for something that's like an hour long, and download the audio of it and burn it to CD for your little ones. And I mention these kinds of hack ideas because I'm not made of money. And I highly doubt that most of my audience is really uber financially sound. What I like to say is everybody's only a day away from getting thrown out. And what that means is I know that we're all broke one way or another. We're all broke. We're all Jude here. Um, so just you want to burn some music for your kids. That's look up some classical music. Giving your little ones a radio is nice. It's great. But what happens every 20 minutes? You get an hour block of commercialization. Advertisements and all this bullshit that causes attention span problems. Because they change everything up. Who can keep up with this shit, right? Who can even handle it? I can't. I can't handle it. So I don't want my little one to be turned on to that already. So it's again why I bring up like these hack ideas, hacking life hacks. You know. But anyway, guys, that's all for this one here. I'm just gonna wrap this one up now, and yeah, this is Chris with the Age of Reason, men. Like I always say, keep both eyes, all three eyes, opened at all times. Pay attention and man, raise your kids, man, to be the best, to be better than we are. Right? That's uh, that's the name of the game, man. We're just trying to leave a stronger legacy. You know. All right, guys, I'll talk to you.